Speaking of hot seats, can we talk about the Philadelphia choke Eagles? I mean, what was that? What happened, Lucy? I mean, seriously. Kelvin, that game should be in the bag. The Atlanta Falcons,
I know.
They choked down a game like that at home to that team. Did you see the Falcons in week 1?
Did. They looked awful.
Awful.
And all of a sudden you wanted to have – you know how you go to the store and you make sure you keep that receipt so you can take it back? They wanted to get that receipt and take Kirk Cousins back in that whole offense that everybody had high hopes for. But I'm interested because to me, Rob, everybody says a choke job, and I think Saquon Barkley simply doesn't catch a pass that he had caught just a couple of quarters earlier for a touchdown. Same play, same call. You catch that, that's a first down, game over. So I'm not as big on everybody as this is a choke job, as much as you make that play, Saquon Barkley, the guy we brought in, the big name, the guy who's going to be one of our better offensive players.
Where's the defense at the end? I mean, are you kidding? At home against that team?
No, that I will concede for the defense. Everybody's calling for Nick Sirianni.
Second Cousins?
Yes.
I mean, what? Seriously. Kelvin, you cannot. If you're serious, and this is supposed to be the Eagles, they beat Green Bay in week 1 after that terrible finish to last year, and they put on a performance like that. This reminded me, and I know there have been epic choke jobs in sports, but the first thing I thought was, this is an epic collapse. There's no way you should give that up at home in that situation. And I get it. Saquon, you got to catch that ball. But the defense, where's the stop?
It ends up being a multitude of things, which is how you get a collapse. So I wanted to, I guess, start with the call first. Was that call the worst call? Everybody's calling for Nick Sirianni. Everybody's mad at the offensive play call. I wasn't as mad as that. Now, when you put it all together, you could question the play call. Saquon doesn't make the catch. And you don't do the tush push or the brotherly shove, which is what has worked for you for now the last 2-3 seasons. That's another issue there. And then the defense. And I've heard some people question right now saying what we're witnessing. You saw it with the Rams in that fourth quarter in the overtime against the Lions, where they just moved the ball down there. They didn't even think about passing. Just ran it. Montgomery down the throat there.
Right.
And so I think we're also starting to see, man, these players, Rob, they ain't in shape. They ain't ready.
Well,
and a lot
of them don't play any games. You know what I mean? Any meaningful games in training camp or the preseason, and that is an issue. And now these first couple of games, that's why they say all the passing numbers are down. Like the offense is not clicking, not together.
Look terrible.
Yeah.
But I tell you who offensive line didn't look terrible was the Falcons. They were able to give Kirk Cousins. Did he become first cousin? He's a first cousin now. He went from a kissing cousin to a first cousin and shut everybody up the way that he was able to perform and bounce back. But that Eagles secondary, to get back to your point, dude, you got to make a play. I think he's 5 or 6 Kirk Cousins. These weren't a CeeDee Lamb threw a pass, he turns it up, and now, it's a bunch of yards. This was just chunk after 10 yards, 15 yards, 20 yards, 15 yards. This was chunk after chunk, and I think that's what's disappointing when it comes to the Eagles. So I separated the play call, I'm not mad at it. Defensively, come on, bro. Y'all got to stop them. At least make it hard on Kirk Cousins, and they didn't do that at all.
And especially the Falcons. Like you looked at that game. They were 5.5-point favorites. Yep. The Eagles were at home because you looked at the way that they played game 1. You go, well, they should take care of the Falcons easily. And I thought of all teams to choke against, they choke against the Falcons, who, to me, have one of the all-time greatest choke jobs in that Super Bowl. And you want to talk about coaching decisions and mistakes and letting the Patriots come back. If you remember, what were they up, 28-3?
Yep.
28-3.
That's still crazy.
That when you think about that, and of all the things I always think about, is Julio Jones makes a great catch on third down to set up 1st and 10 at the 22. Now, 1st and 10 at the 22, you're already in field goal 100%. Range, okay? You run the ball 3 straight times. You let the play clock run all the way down. You leave Tom Brady like no time, right? No. They're passing the football in that situation. They get like a holding 10 yards. They get a sack. Why are you passing the ball? They fall out of field goal range. Tom Brady marches them down, ties the game with a 2-point convert, and they lose in overtime. Like, that was probably the worst choke job I've ever seen in the NFL.
I have one worse. It was less choking as far as the length of the game, meaning that one was, hey, you're up 28-3. We got a whole second half. The only one I would question, because this was an immediate choke, meaning it's right here in your face, when you had the chance to give the ball to Marshawn Lynch and win the game if you're the Seahawks versus, again, the Patriots. I think that one, because the game was literally won.
You know what?
I get yours is
that was a terrible decision, but I don't look at that as a choke.
Right. That's why I said the length of the game, being up 28-3, I'll concede that.
You know what I mean? Like that's a dumb play call in that situation. You have the best running back in the league. You're throwing the ball into a tight area when you're down that close.
And they want to give you the ball. They want you to score so they can have a few seconds on the clock.
Matter of fact, the announcers, I can't remember who was doing the game, they said that the Patriots should let them score to get the ball, right, to get the ball back. And instead they throw the ball there, and that close, when you do that, tip balls, things like that, interceptions happen very frequently. So that's not what you want to do. But I thought that Falcons choke job is the biggest one that I can remember in the NFL. And I know it was recent, but that was a collapse.
I'm not mad at that. I'm absolutely not mad at that answer. So their first cousins, Kirk first cousins,
I call them second cousins.
I know, but he looked like first cousins yesterday, on that drive at least. Did Kirk first cousins exercise the demons for the entire city of Atlanta? Because, as you mentioned, the choke job, Falcons up 28-3, lose to the Patriots. Did he do something there? Did he find a way to kind of get Atlanta back feeling like we might have something here?
Well, that's a good question. I think it's on Philadelphia and not as much Atlanta. But we want to hear from you. 877-99 on Fox, 877-996-6369. Was it a choke job? Kelvin is like lukewarm on it. I'm all the way in. Choke job all the way, and the greatest choke you ever saw in sports. I mean, I think it's the Falcons. The Falcons have coughed up more phlegm than anybody in the NFL. I don't know what else to say.
Got the New York Knicks looking like, whoo, at least it wasn't us.
My God.
Rob is saying epic choke job last night by the Eagles, and the most epicest choke job of all time was the Falcons
in that Super
Bowl against the Patriots. So that's what we're talking about. I overall say that there was a choke job, but I don't think it was that epic. In fact, I'd be more mad at the Baltimore Ravens the week last week against
the Raiders.
The Raiders. To me, that was worse in that you were up 10 in the fourth. You got Derrick Henry running well. You got Lamar Jackson who can run the clock. They stopped running the ball. Derrick Henry only gets one. So this season, I think that Ravens one was a worse one when it comes to me. But let's take some calls here.
All right, Douglas in upstate New York. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Douglas?
Hey, Rob. Love the show. You're one of my favorite personalities on radio, TV, and that's why you know that.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Douglas.
No problem. That choke job in the Super Bowl was the biggest choke job ever. Me and my friends, we had pooled together some money. There was 3 or 4 of us that put $1,000 on the Patriots with the spread, and we're sitting there and we were having the worst time watching the game. We were so mad, and then once they started coming back, we had one friend who had the Falcons, and he had the money line. He bought his wife a purse because he was going to win so much money. He was going to win like $750.
Wow.
He bought her a purse. I'm telling you, it was the greatest Super Bowl. I'll never forget my friend's face when the Patriots came back and they won. He still got the purse.
I would have taken that thing, thanks Douglas, back to the store. I'm telling you, right after that collapse. Malik in Hartford, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Malik?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing great.
Long time listener, first time caller.
Appreciate it. Say hi to Kelvin.
Kelvin, welcome, Kelvin.
What's up, Malik? Appreciate it, brother.
Hey, now let's switch gears here. When we just talking sports, the greatest choke job ever.
Yeah, sports, Malik. Sports. Where are we going?
Hold up.
The The '04 Yankees.
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, they were up 3-0, and they lost 4 straight.
3-0.
First time
And
in
we beat-
baseball history. I mean, that is a classic choke job.
And me being a Red Sox fan, it was the best thing ever because after that we went on an 8-game winning streak. 4 against the Yankees, 4 against the Cardinals.
Yep,
No,
and that was it.
listen,
No, that
that's
was
a great
another
one.
one. That's
Yeah.
an all-timer because it had never been done in baseball before. Thanks, Malik.
And also the fact that you're exercising the demons for the Red Sox, right? It wasn't just like some random team.
And it happened against
it happened against the Yankees. So that absolutely could be up there.
Right.
If it's the Falcons or that,
the
I'm
Falcons
not mad at
for
either of
one
those.
game and the
Yeah.
Yankees for a series, no
yep.
doubt. Scott in North Carolina, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Scott?
What's up, my guys? How y'all doing?
What's
Man,
up?
we're doing great. How are you? Thanks for checking out the new show, my man. Appreciate you.
Oh, yeah, most definitely, most definitely. I mean, I'm an Eagles fan, and I'm highly upset with our defense. You let Kirk Cousins drive down the field look like Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
Coming off an ACL injury and score a game-winning touchdown. I'm trashing my defense. I'm sadly to do it, but I'm trashing my defense. Granted, if Saquon catch that ball, the game is over.
Right.
But our defense have to make a stop.
You have to. You're at home against a subpar quarterback and offense. I'm sorry. If you're the Eagles and you made the run to the Super Bowl 2 years ago and last year was a disaster at the end. And here's a chance to start the season 2-0 with 2 wins, right? The
Yep.
Packers and then the Falcons at home, and you come away with a game like that. That was awful.
Yeah, the bad thing about that loss too
Thanks,
is
Scott.
that it gets your brain start to going, oh shoot, is this gonna be like last year?
Right.
Is this where we can't finish games, we start losing? So that's also the bad part is the mental aspect, what it does to the team. Your coach feels even more pressure now. So losing that game definitely hurts him in that regard too, not just the simple of the game, but what it does to you mentally.
No doubt. Andre in Massachusetts, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Dre?
How you doing? Thanks for taking the call. Listen, I didn't see last night as a huge choke job, and of course Saquon should have caught that ball. But the bottom line for me, the Atlanta Falcons have weapons, okay? They got London and wide receivers. They got Pitts. They got Bijan.
Did you watch most of the game, though? Nothing was going on until the end?
Point taken, Rob. So it hasn't clicked yet, and they could be a team that sputters mid-season, and then they have a quarterback controversy. But to see the Atlanta Falcons function as a team that should be in the hunt, specifically in the NFC, that wasn't shocking to me. So I didn't think it was a huge choke job. They just, bottom line, you got to close a team out when you got to deliver that knockout punch.
No.
The Eagles didn't do it.
No
They gave
doubt,
him a
but
chance.
Dre, let me. I don't know if you watched like any of the pregame or whatever. I swear, I not one person that I saw picked the Falcons.
Right.
Not one. Like normally you have a sprinkling. Like it was all Eagles. Like every board I saw, every analyst picked the Eagles, not the Falcons. Not one.
Which, by the way, I mean, we're acting
Thanks for the
like
call, Dre.
Thank you, appreciate it, Dre. We're acting like the Eagles were like they are all of a
World
sudden world beaters. Like, all right, they're coming in from a bad season last season.
But they did come back in that game, right? They were down, and then they take the lead, and you say to yourself, okay, like this is, you don't have your best night, but this is what good teams do. They find a way to
100%.
win, and then
maybe they ain't a good team, Rob.
Yeah,
maybe they ain't a good team, and I'm with Dre there. Bad loss. I still don't think it was an epic collapse last. I'm bad loss, absolutely bad loss. Defense, I put a lot on them. Put a lot obviously on the hands of Saquon, but I don't think it's an epic loss. I'm more inclined to be with Andre on that.
All right, let's squeeze one more in. Randy in New Orleans, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Randy?
Uncle Rob, how you doing?
Man, we're good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good to hear from you. Calvin, welcome aboard, sir.
Appreciate it, Randy.
How does the show sound down in New Orleans? Good?
It sounds good from the 2-0 New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, I know it does.
Good.
I know it does.
In the words of the late, great Denny Green, they let them off the hook.
Yep.
They are who we thought they were, right? An epic collapse on the Eagles' part. We still got a sign up that says 28-3, just reminding the Falcons of who they really are.
Right.
But let me just say this. Nick Sirianni, you run the ball on third down. If you don't get it, you run it again on fourth down, and you make Kirk Cousins go 90 yards
Yes.
for feature or 70 yards for a field goal. This is ABC. Let me say this, Uncle Rob, before I get off the air. This is not Vic Fangio from the 49ers. This is Vic Fangio from the Miami Dolphins, who had like the 25th ranked defense or something. It's over for him. It's time to move on.
Man.
The league has passed you by.
I'll tell you
I
what.
appreciate the call, man.
Thank you, Randy. Appreciate it. I'll tell you, it was ugly. And the people, we're going to hear from Anthony Gargano in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
You already know Anthony's going to go crazy, and the reaction in Philadelphia.
Randy was acting like Kirk didn't go. He might not have went 90 yards. He went 70. You know?
Crazy.
All right.